Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, my name is Edward Smith and welcome to my YouTube channel. And as a lot of you guys requested, in today's video I'm going to be comparing the Yamaha HS5s to the Adam Audio T5Vs. So before we jump into things, I'd first like to ask you to please smash that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, especially if you are someone that's interested in home studio gear and home studio equipment. And I've also become a lot more active on Instagram, where I'm also posting on those specific topics, and I'm also going to be announcing a lot of my giveaway winners on Instagram as well, and also be selecting some followers for future giveaways. So make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. And then also, if you end up being interested in these studio monitors, as always, I will leave them linked down in the description below. And then last but not least, make sure you hang around all the way till the end of this video, because as always, I will be doing a sound test comparison between these studio monitors to hopefully help you pick the perfect pair for your home studio setup. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into this video and see what these studio monitors are all about. So when it comes to comparing studio monitors, what I like to do is always start off with the similarities between them first, and then move on to the differences, and then do the sound test, and then give you my final overview of who I think each studio monitor is best for. And in this case, these two studio monitors are very similar. They both have the same kind of idea and end goal when it comes to being a good quality studio monitor that costs around $200 per monitor. That's going to get you good results, that has very good value, and that's really going to be perfect for a small home studio setup. And in this case, when looking at the front panel, both of these studio monitors obviously have a 5-inch cone, and they both have a 1-inch tweeter, where the only difference in terms of the front panel between these two is that Adam Audio type tweeter that puts the Adam Audio studio monitors in a different range and class from other studio monitors. So here you are getting the Adam Audio T5 tweeter, but on the front panel the difference is just that. Whereas when you move on to the back panel of these studio monitors, pretty much exactly the same thing. They both have a very similar design. The bass reflex port is pretty much exactly the same size in exactly the same place. They both have their volume knobs. Both of them have very similar room adjustment options, where you have plus 2 dB or minus 2 dB in a high frequency or low frequency. Nothing crazy like the KRK Rocket 5 G4s or the Kali Audio LP6s, where you can really play around with them and set them a certain distance from the wall or these kinds of things. Is very basic on both of them. And the big difference that I have noticed between these studio monitors is just the inputs. When it comes to the Yamaha HS5s, these studio monitors have an XLR input and a balanced TRS input, whereas the Adam Audio T5V only has an XLR input. So you won't be able to plug in any TRS cable into this studio monitor. It just has a basic XLR connection. So that is the very big difference on the back end of these studio monitors. One key difference though between these studio monitors is their frequency response, where funnily enough, the frequency response of the Yamaha HS5s actually complement the frequency response of the Adam Audio T5Vs, and also vice versa. And what I mean by that is, when you look at the Yamaha HS5s, you're getting a lot of mid-range with these studio monitors, not a lot of low end, not a lot of high end. You're getting a lot of mid-range, so it's going to be a lot brighter, and it's also not that flat. So it's really a nice and bright pair of studio monitors, especially for this size. Whereas when you move on to the Adam Audio T5Vs, you're getting exactly the opposite. You're getting a little bit more low end, where you weren't getting it with the Yamaha HS5s, and you're getting a little bit more high end, but your whole mid-range is kind of not there. So funnily enough, you want to have the mid-range with the studio monitor that you have with the HS5s to get a nice balance, and you want to have the low end and the high end of the Adam Audio T5Vs in your HS5s to get that to be nice and flat. So funnily enough, this studio monitor is probably going to be a lot brighter when we move on to the sound test, where this one is going to be a lot more low end heavy and high end heavy with no real mid-range. So when we move on to the sound test now, it is going to be quite interesting to see the difference. But as you look at these frequency graphs, you can tell that there is quite a bit of an opposite switch gap there between these two.
Hey babe, look what hole I am in.
So now that we've gone through these studio monitors in terms of features, overall look and design, front and back panel, and also did the sound test comparison, it's time to move on to my final take. And I have to say first off that whichever studio monitor you do like out of these two, you're not picking the wrong studio monitor. They both are very good in terms of sound quality, very good to help you get the best out of your music production and mixing, and especially for a small home studio setup where you want to use a 5-inch cone studio monitor. These are the cream of the crop. They are really probably the best 5-inch cone studio monitors you can go for. That being said, when it comes to the Yamaha HS5s, I'm personally a big fan of them. I really think they sound great. I also have a pair of Yamaha HS8s in the back there, which I use to cover the low end that I don't get with these. And these are for me just a reference pair of studio monitors that really do a good job of giving me that brightness and letting me know what's really going on that part of my mix. And for those of you that want to get a quality pair of studio monitors that are also very valuable, that if you want to maybe resell them and look at something different in future, these are always going to do the job for pretty much anything. On the other hand, I'm also a big fan of the Adam Audio T5Vs. I think they sound phenomenal. I think they are perfect for music production, mixing and mastering in any home studio setup. And the fact that Adam Audio has actually brought out a pair of studio monitors you can actually afford, even if you're starting out, is just awesome. So like I said, if you like the HS5s, they are a great choice to go for. If you like the Adam Audio T5Vs, a great choice to go for. Whichever one you pick, you can't go wrong with either. So that brings this video to an end of my comparison between the Yamaha HS5s and the Adam Audio T5Vs. And just a reminder that if you're interested in these studio monitors, I have left them linked down in the description below. Secondly, if you have any questions about today's video, just leave a comment down below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you loved it, subscribe down below, and I will see you for another video next time.
Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life billar jag. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunnat ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå by my side, oh why.